Thank you, Lou. Welcome, everybody. And I just want to quickly start off our discussions. As Lou said, we want to keep it very crisp among the panel members to talk about the impact of the law on their organizations and their perspective. There's a lot yet to be decided, obviously, as we work through implementation issues, but we have some very key perspectives represented on the panel. And so the first member to speak is Joe Baker, who's the president of the Medicare Rights Center, who's going to talk with us a little bit about the impact, particularly on Medicare patients and what happens to their costs, coverage, donut holes, and various esoteria. Joe, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Peter. Thanks. I thought I could do this sitting down, but I guess not. It's wonderful to see you all here, a lot of old familiar faces, or young familiar faces, I should say, or just familiar faces. So I want to just give you a quick overview. Many of you know these facts, but also things that are happening actually in the last week or so, I think that give us a kind of indication about what we're going to be seeing over the next few years with implementation. So I think everybody heard our discussion over the summer and participated in some degree about death panels. And my favorite line was Jon Stewart's, who said, "Did you hear about Obamacare? There's going to be a committee made up of the village people. It's going to decide which grandmother dies first." So, I mean, it went, to some crazy places around the Medicare provisions, particularly to try to get seniors whipped up in one way or another. And our job, and much of your job, was really making sure you were analyzing the law correctly and getting correct information out to your constituencies, or friends, or families, for that matter. So what actually, I think, are the main provisions in here for people with Medicare? Now, of course, this is a bill that impacts significantly those under 65, but also turns out will impact folks over 65 and the disabled on Medicare as well. I think the biggest provision that everybody knows about and is learning to love is the eventual elimination of the donut hole in Part D drug coverage. And that will be a significant benefit improvement for people with Medicare, and something that many of our groups, and particularly those that serve seniors and people with disabilities, fought very hard for, and was not in any of the original bills. So, versions thereof were in the House bill, but really pushed it through the Senate, and so that was a major victory for those who are senior advocates. The second piece is, you can look at that as a kind of modernization of a benefit package, although that's a pretty modern benefit in the Medicare program. The next thing is really a modernization and catching Medicare up to many other insurance programs, and that is full coverage of preventive care. So the package here includes, for the first time, an annual wellness visit, fully covered, fully covering preventive services, 100%, and also a 20% increase to doctors, to primary care doctors, once again, to provide incentives to them to provide this care and to expand their role in the Medicare program for primary care and preventive care. A real focus, as you'll hear, I think, from a number of our presenters, around primary care in this bill. And I think the other piece of, that really is a whole package of things, and this is where I think we're going to see a lot of work over the course of the next few years that will impact, I think, all of, if not everyone in this room, most of the people in this room, and that is a whole package of reform on reimbursement in the Medicare program. Of course, we know about the significant changes in market basket updates and other kinds of basically savings that will be taken out of the Medicare program, either from providers or from Medicare Advantage plans. And that is used to reinvest it back in the healthcare system, both for some of these improvements to the Medicare program, but also to subsidize, of course, the costs of folks getting folks covered under 65. I would argue that bolstering the healthcare system and investing in the healthcare system helps seniors overall, because they are disproportionate users thereof. But I just wanted to end on one note, and that is that, and give you an inkling, I think, of what may be in our future. As we all know, the Medicare Advantage plans are slated to have major changes in reimbursement, starting this year with a kind of freeze on rates, and then bringing rates down to match more what costs are in the original Medicare program. And a lot of folks are worried that those costs will be passed along to Medicare Advantage members, either in the form of higher premiums or co-pays or lower levels of benefits. Well, this week, last week, late last week, CMS published the final rule on Medicare Advantage and Part D plans, and there are a number of provisions in there that still need to be fleshed out, but that would create limits on the ability of plans to pass along costs to beneficiaries or consumers in those plans. Out-of-pocket maximums, other tools that will, I think, allow CMS and really hopefully constrict plans' ability, because what we're really hoping is that those plans that are efficient in providing high-quality care can, in a competitive marketplace, provide what they've been providing all along. And if some of the less performing plans, either drop away or, there's a race to the top, then I think we can all, take advantage of that. Certainly consumers can. So a lot of things coming down over the next few years, and you'll hear about a whole host of them. But I think my advice, and I think what everybody is doing, is keeping their ear close to the ground. After you get done reading the 2,000-page document, you've got to start reading, the next regulatory and guidance that comes out of CMS on a regular basis, because it's going to come fast and furious. So thank you very much, and I appreciate hearing from everyone else.